I can already tell this is gonna be one of those hand motiony videos. I talk with my hands, who knew? I'm a teacher. This is how you get kids to listen to you. Hey, what is up, you guys? I am back. How are you all doing today? Today's video is going to be the first in what I'm hoping will be a whole series called What Is That? And in this series, we're gonna go through all different kinds of products that you might have questions about or wanna know a little bit more about. I'm gonna go in depth and help you understand some makeup products. And today's video is very highly requested, and it is all about primers. So if you wanna know more about facial primers, stick around. Like I said, today's video is about primers and facial primers specifically. Believe it or not, there are all kinds of primers on the market. You might have heard of eye primers, things that you put on the eyelid before eyeshadow. There are even hair primers these days. But this video is going to be specifically about facial primers that you're going to put on your face before you put on your foundation. The main purpose of all primers is to create a barrier between your skin and the makeup that you're going to put on top of it. And this should, in all cases, prolong the wear of your foundation and help it have a better look on your skin. It's also kind of good for your skin to have that barrier so that if there are some less wonderful chemicals inside of your foundations, that they aren't penetrating as deeply into the skin. In this video, I'm going to go through all different kinds of primers and explain how to identify them and what their benefits are. But before we jump into that, you might be wondering, well, how do I know what kind of primer I want? So here's my suggestion for you guys. Go ahead and put on a face of makeup, at least all of your base products, your foundation, your concealers, and your powders. Take a look in the mirror and look really closely. If you have a magnifying mirror, use that. Look at your makeup and ask yourself, what problems do you see? Do you feel like your foundation is sinking into your fine lines or your pores? Do you feel like your foundation is clinging in dry patches, or that your foundation is coming off throughout the day because you're getting oily? So try and take a peek and see if you notice things that you don't like about your foundation or your base products, and find a primer that's going to combat that. If you have absolutely no idea, if you're looking at it and you say, I have no clue what's wrong with this, I know I don't like it, but I don't know where to start, then my suggestion is go into a Sephora or something like that and get samples of primers with different benefits. Get one from all the categories that I'm going to talk about today. Try those primers under your base and see which ones you think make your makeup look the best, and base your decisions off of that. Let's jump into what kinds of primers are out there. How can you identify them? How do you know the difference? And what do all those crazy words mean on those primer bottles? Let's start out with smoothing and blurring primers. You'll be able to recognize a smoothing or a blurring primer with words that say just that. They might say smoothing, they might say blurring, they might say things like pore minimizing. These kinds of primers use ingredients like silicone, dimethicone, and all these products really do is fill in your pores and your fine lines. So if you're putting on your makeup and you're seeing that your pores look really, really enlarged, or if you have makeup settling into wrinkles in your skin, these are the primers that are going to help you. This is especially common for people with oily skin types. They tend to have much larger pores, and the makeup makes that really noticeable. So you might be interested in using one of those if you have oily to combination skin. And the great thing about a smoothing or blurring primer is if you are combination, or you only have pores in certain areas or lines in certain areas, you can combine this with another primer and use it just in the areas where you notice that you need a little bit of pore filling or line filling. That's what I personally do. I usually use it right here in my T-zone along my nose, right along here, a little bit under my chin, and then sometimes in the lines along my foreheads to fill those in. And then I'll go on with a different kind of primer around the outside edges of my face. Let's move on to color correcting primers. You're gonna recognize these pretty quickly because they're gonna have bright, crazy colors that look nothing like skin that you should be able to see from the packaging or through the bottle. And each crazy color can solve a different problem for your skin. One of the most common color correctors are green color correctors. I personally turn to green color correctors pretty often because green color correctors combat redness in the skin. Green and red are opposites on the color wheel, so when they're on top of each other, they cancel each other out. So if you have redness on your skin, like if your skin is sensitive and tends to just have a very red undertone, which I suffer from, Or if you have acne or things like that that come up in red bumps on your face, there are green tinted primers that you can use only in those areas or over the whole face, that once you put that foundation on, you're gonna not be able to see so much redness coming through. There are definitely also a lot of peach and apricot tones in color correcting primers, and these help combat discoloration. So discoloration, as opposed to being kind of red places on your face, is gonna be more dark brown or blackish grayish tones on your face. And that could come from a lot of things, such as acne scarring is a really common one. So if you have scars on your face, or dark tones anywhere, spots, age spots that you want to cover up, something with a more peachy apricot tone is going to help you with that. There are also color correcting primers that come in purplish and bluish tones that help add radiance to the skin. So if what you're noticing when you put on your base products is that your skin just looks dull, not bright, not youthful, you might want to consider something that's color correcting for radiance. The blues and the purples I mentioned will add radiance to lighter skin tones, but if you have more of a medium to deep complexion, they go down into yellows and kind of orangey caramely tones that are also color correcting and will add radiance for those deeper skin tones as well. All right, that's about it for color correcting primers, so let's move on to illuminating primers. You'll know an illuminating primer when you see words on the packaging like illumination, obviously, strobing, brightness, anything that says glow or radiance as well. These are all going to be illuminating primers. Illuminating primers contain light reflecting ingredients that help add an overall glow to the face. So similar to the radiance color correcting primers, these are going to help combat any dullness you might see. These are also great to wear underneath matte foundations. If you think that you need a very matte foundation but it's looking a little too dry and too flat on your face, you can pair that with an illuminating primer, which is actually something I did today. I have an illuminating one along the outsides of my face, and then I have a matte foundation, and I think that helps add a little bit of life back to my matte foundation and keep it from looking so flat. Okay, next up are moisturizing primers, and those are probably pretty self-explanatory, but just in case, these are primers that help add moisture back into the face, and as you might have guessed, they're best for dry skin types. If you're putting on your foundation and you're noticing really dry patches on your face, your foundation is probably clinging to those spots and making the dryness really obvious, and this can be easily combated with a moisturizing primer. Hopefully all of you guys are putting moisturizer on your face before you put on your makeup, but layering on a moisturizing primer as well is just going to help intensify the moisture of your face and help that makeup lay on really smoothly. There's all kinds of ingredients that are included in these kind of primers that help, such as hyaluronic acid all the way to coconut water. But these are great for anyone with a dry skin type, and they can be paired with other things, like if you have a dry outer part of your face, you want to do some pore filling as well, match it up with a pore minimizing primer. There are also a lot of primers that are specifically meant to add to your skincare or be SPF and help protect your skin. So these are going to have different kinds of nutrients involved. Look for words like nourishing or protection, or sometimes these primers come in the form of oils. Things like jojoba oil, things that are really nourishing and helpful to the skin, and they'll definitely contain SPF as well to help protect the skin from the sun. I definitely recommend, using other SPF and not counting on a primer alone, because a primer is underneath a bunch of other things and it will wear off throughout the day, but it's never a bad idea to add more SPF to your routine. So a primer with SPF and other skincare ingredients is definitely great. I really recommend these primers the most for people with mature skin, because that skin is really begging for all those nutritious ingredients for the skin, and you're definitely wanting to be protecting that skin the most from the sun with that SPF. Last but not least are BB creams and CC creams. These hit the market a few years back and they really blew up for a while. BB creams and CC creams both have a little bit of coverage in them, so they'll be tinted, usually in really vague ways like light, medium, medium, and deep. So you can put these on as just a primer, but they also have enough coverage that some people wear them as their foundation on days that they're wanting to have a no makeup look, or they're just running around doing some errands and they don't feel like they need a full face of makeup, but they still want a little bit of coverage. A BB and a CC cream are great for those. BB creams will probably have less coverage and they'll be more like a tinted moisturizer, whereas a CC cream, the CC stands for color correcting, and it's gonna have a little bit more coverage. Some of them go almost to about medium coverage. Like I said, you can wear those alone, or you can use them as a primer and layer on your foundation on top of that, and it's just gonna be that much more coverage for your skin. That is my breakdown for you guys of different kinds of primers. If there's one that I missed or questions that you guys have about primers, please leave those down in the comments. I will be in there happy to answer your questions for you guys. I hope this helps you feel a little more confident next time you're out shopping for makeup, that you feel like you know what you're looking for and you understand which kind of primer is going to be the best for you. And like I said, if you don't, get a sample of a few and try out a few different things, and eventually you'll find one that you feel like makes a really big difference for you. What is that is gonna be a series, guys. So please leave me a comment down below and let me know what other types of makeup products or beauty products you wanna know more about, you find confusing, or you want me to break down for you guys. I can't wait to add some more to this series. Thank you so much for watching me today. You guys are the absolute best. Please, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, join my family. Hit that like button if you like this and you want me to continue this series so I know what you guys are into, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Ingredients are really gonna help the skin have that youthful feel. Hit that like bell. Color correcting primers. There are also primers in color. I don't like it. That is my breakdown for your guys.